In the quiet dark of deep space, the sleek silver ship of the alien explorer Cthar glided past stars and drifting asteroids. Cthar was from the Zythari, a proud race whose fleets ruled the outer rim. They were clever, advanced, and feared across hundreds of star systems. They had explored thousands of worlds, catalogued species, and judged civilizations by their technology, speed, and military strength. But Earth was an anomaly. Cthar had detected a tiny blue planet on the edge of the Sol system. Its signals were weak, almost primitive. A low-level species, Cthar muttered in his clicking tongue. Unworthy of attention. The Zythari ship entered orbit around Earth. From space, the planet was beautiful, oceans glimmering like liquid sapphires, continents rich with green and brown, clouds swirling like painted silk. Yet to Cthar beauty was irrelevant. He wanted power, strategy, and dominance. He scanned the planet, expecting to find nothing remarkable. Cities were small, uneven, and chaotic compared to the smooth, ordered constructions of Zythari worlds. The humans moved like ants, seemingly insignificant, clumsy, and fragile. Cthar chuckled. Pathetic. No advanced weapons. No interstellar travel. Just life. Fragile, weak, and irrelevant. Still, curiosity tugged at him. He deployed a probe into the atmosphere. The probe sent back streams of images. Skyscrapers, busy streets, glowing cities at night, and people who laughed, fought, and worked tirelessly. The humans were small, but Cthar noticed something else. A spark. Determination. Creativity. A strange resilience that he had rarely encountered outside the core worlds. In the Galactic Council, the news of Earth was met with amusement. Ambassador Xyler of the Etheri laughed in the shimmering chamber. "You consider a single primitive planet worth our attention?" he said. "Their weapons are Stone Age compared to our fleets. Let them live quietly. No species has ever survived beyond their home system without us noticing first." But Cthar could not let it go. Something about Earth unsettled him. He decided to descend carefully to observe. As he approached a city, he saw cars that moved without pilots, lights that powered entire streets, machines that built buildings faster than humans could touch them. Yet the humans still controlled these machines manually. They adapted, improved, and corrected mistakes in ways that seemed unpredictable. Suddenly, a child, no more than 10 years old, ran in front of a self-driving vehicle, smiling. The machine stopped. Instantly. Humans had instincts and intuition, things that even the most advanced AI could not replicate. Cthar felt a ripple of unease. They were weak individually, yes, but collectively, dangerous. Back on his ship, Cthar accessed historical archives of Earth. Wars. Disasters. Pandemics. Yet humans survived. They rebuilt. They innovated. And they evolved faster than any other species he had studied. It was remarkable. Dangerous. He decided to speak to one of them. Using a holographic translator, he appeared in front of Dr. Elena Reyes, a scientist studying space phenomena. She froze, staring at the alien with wide eyes. What are you?" she whispered. "I am Cthar of the Zythari. I have come to observe your species," the alien said, voice smooth and echoing. "Your kind appears weak. Tell me, why have you not destroyed yourselves with your technology?" Elena tilted her head. "Because we adapt. We learn. We survive." Cthar studied her carefully. He noticed courage, intelligence, and curiosity. Not fear. Not panic. "You are bold," he said slowly. "Most species tremble before me. And most species have never faced what we can do together," Elena replied, her voice steady. A warning bell rang in Cthar's mind. He had underestimated humans. And that was a dangerous mistake. Later, in the council chambers of the Outer Rim, Cthar presented his findings. The delegates laughed at his caution. "You fear a single planet?" said Xyler. "Your imagination runs wild." But Cthar remained silent, watching the stars. "They are small now," he said, "but underestimated. That is always the deadliest error." On Earth, unaware of the galaxy watching them, humans continued their lives, building, exploring, creating. But a storm was coming. One that would stretch from their small planet to the edge of the galaxy. And humans, as always, would rise to meet it. The Galactic Council's chamber stretched endlessly, a sphere of polished crystal and glowing symbols. Delegates from hundreds of star systems floated in the zero-gravity space, their forms alien in every imaginable way. Some shimmered like liquid light, others had rigid exoskeletons, tentacles, or wings. At the center, Cthar hovered, eyes fixed on the human data he had collected. "Your species," Cthar began, voice echoing through the chamber, "is unpredictable. It adapts. It survives. It grows. I recommend we monitor Earth closely. Laughter erupted. Monitor? Sneered Ambassador Xyler, his translucent form pulsing with anger. Why waste the Council's resources on a single backwater planet? Their fleets are non-existent. Their technology barely scratches space. They are irrelevant. Kthar's eyes narrowed. Irrelevant? You have judged only what you can see. Humans possess an intelligence that cannot be measured solely by machines or firepower. Their ingenuity in crisis, unparalleled. Their creativity, lethal. To underestimate them is dangerous. A murmur ran through the chamber. Some species, like the Aetheri and Drenther, whispered among themselves. Others, like the cold, metallic Vorkesh, were visibly amused. This is absurd, one Vorkesh delegate said. We have ruled hundreds of systems. What could a single primitive world do? Perhaps more than you imagine, Kthar replied grimly. I witnessed humans stop a speeding machine with instinct alone. They coordinate in ways no algorithm can predict. Their society is messy, chaotic, yet it produces results that even the most advanced empires cannot replicate. Council leader Sira, a being of pure energy, regarded him silently. Her voice resonated like a chorus of bells. Kthar, are you suggesting this species could become a threat to the galaxy? Yes, Kthar admitted. If provoked, if cornered, they are capable of... He paused, searching for the right word. Unprecedented solutions. They are not to be dismissed. The chamber erupted in debate. Most delegates laughed and argued, dismissing him. Yet some hesitated, a flicker of worry passing through their eyes. Kthar had planted a seed, a dangerous seed. Meanwhile, on Earth, Elena Reyes and her team detected an anomaly, a massive energy signature approaching the planet. At first, they thought it was a comet, but the readings were precise, intelligent. It's a ship, Elena said, her voice tight with both awe and fear. It's not from this solar system. The ship entered orbit. It did not attack. It simply observed. For weeks, humans monitored the craft, studying its patterns, trying to communicate. Finally, Elena activated a translation beacon, broadcasting a message. I am Dr. Elena Reyes of Earth. We do not wish to fight. We wish to understand. Kthar appeared in orbit as a holographic projection. I am Kthar of the Zytheri. I mean no harm, for now. But I warn you humans, the galaxy is not as forgiving as your planet. Elena swallowed hard. Then perhaps we can learn from each other. Perhaps we can show you what we are capable of. Kthar tilted his head, intrigued. He had underestimated them. There was a spark in humans that even the Zytheri could not predict. An unpredictable intelligence that made him uneasy. Back in the council, news of humans' attempt to communicate spread rapidly. Most delegates dismissed it as naive bravery. But Kthar pushed forward. They are already thinking strategically. They are not acting out of fear. They are seeking knowledge, negotiation, and perhaps dominance. Weeks passed. The council convened secretly to decide Earth's fate. Some argued for observation, others for preemptive elimination. A species capable of rapid adaptation with no predictable military patterns is a danger, Sira said. Better to monitor for now. But Kthar disagreed. I propose engagement. We test them, not with weapons but with strategy. Let them reveal their capabilities. And so, the first official contact began. A small delegation of humans, led by Elena, was invited aboard Kthar's ship. The humans boarded cautiously, observing every detail. Alien technology far beyond Earth's imagination surrounded them, holographic displays, floating consoles, and machinery that hummed with energy. You are brave, Kthar said, studying them. Most species would panic. We adapt, Elena replied, her voice firm. It's what we do best. The first conversation was tense. Kthar presented scenarios of galactic conflict, resource negotiations, and strategic dilemmas. Humans responded calmly, sometimes countering with solutions that Kthar could not have predicted. He was forced to pause, reassess, and even admit that their ideas were brilliant. You are clever, Kthar said finally. I have seen many civilizations. Few think like you. Fewer survive like you. And then, a warning. Sensors detected a massive fleet moving toward the Sol system. Ships from a powerful alien coalition, the Vraxian Syndicate, were approaching. They had detected Earth's unusual energy signatures and interpreted them as a threat. Kthar turned to the humans. You are now at the center of a storm. Your planet may not survive. How do you respond? Elena looked at her team, then back at Kthar. We fight, with every advantage we have. We will not surrender. We will not be underestimated. Kthar's eyes glowed faintly. So it begins. Above Earth, the stars burned brighter as distant fleets prepared for war. Humanity, small and fragile, stood at the threshold of the galaxy, unaware of the full scale of the storm, yet ready to prove why underestimation was their greatest weapon. The Vraxian Syndicate fleet loomed like a shadow over the Sol system. Thousands of ships, angular and black, drifted in formation. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy, ready to obliterate anything in their path. Earth's orbit, fragile and small, looked like a speck in the midst of the approaching storm. On the bridge of the human ship Horizon, Admiral Marcus Kane stood with Elena and a small team of scientists and strategists. The vessel was Earth's first true interstellar ship, constructed in secrecy over decades, with hybrid technology adapted from captured alien probes and human engineering. It was nothing compared to the Vraxian dreadnoughts, yet it carried humanity's ingenuity within its hull. "Admiral, sensors indicate they are scanning for life signs," Lieutenant Chin said, her fingers dancing over the controls. "They'll detect Earth any second." Kane clenched his jaw. "Let them scan. They'll find humans, and underestimate us just like every other species. That's our advantage." Elena stepped forward, her eyes calm but intense. "We can't match their firepower head-on. We'll need to outthink them, use the environment, create traps and strike where they least expect." Kane nodded. "Exactly. Prepare the decoy fleets. We'll make them think there are more ships than there really are. We'll scramble sensors, hack their targeting systems and use orbital debris as cover. Every second counts." Far above the planet, the first salvo struck. Energy beams tore through empty space where decoy drones had been released. The Vraxians expected a straightforward fight. They did not anticipate invisible cloaked drones, asteroid shields and human unpredictability. Kane's voice rang over the bridge. "Now. Initiate the orbital slingshot maneuvers. Use gravity to accelerate the drones and hit their forward shields." The humans executed their plan flawlessly. Small ships zipped around massive asteroids, using the gravity of moons and debris to gain incredible speed. Vraxian shields flared and failed under the unexpected angles of attack. The Syndicate fleet faltered. Confusion rippled through their command chain. Kthar observed from his own ship, hidden in the outer orbit. He had warned the Council, he had predicted potential, but even he was astonished. Humans were not just surviving, they were innovating in real time, turning a hopeless scenario into a tactical nightmare for their enemies. "They adapt," Kthar muttered. "They improvise. They anticipate. Incredible." Meanwhile, in orbit over Mars, human engineers launched electromagnetic pulses. The pulses scrambled Vraxian sensors, causing their targeting systems to lock onto phantom signals. Missile volleys missed, energy blasts fired into empty void, and the Syndicate ships struggled to respond. "Admiral," Chin shouted. "They're changing formation. They're trying to flank us." Kane's face was calm, almost cold. "Let them. We've planned for it. Deploy the asteroid swarm. Use the moon's orbit to collapse their lines." The plan worked perfectly. Ships collided, shields overloaded, and the Syndicate fleet suffered its first defeat at the hands of a species they had considered primitive. Across the galaxy, Kthar's transmission relayed the battle in real time to the Council. Silence followed. Then murmurs. "They actually fought back?" "Impossible," one delegate whispered. "A species without interstellar war experience cannot do this." But the proof was clear. Humans had fought against an overwhelmingly superior force, and survived. Worse, for the aliens, they had turned the battle into a spectacle of strategy, creativity, and bold improvisation. On Earth, people watched the night sky as glowing streaks of fire and explosions danced in orbit. No one fully understood the scale, but the world collectively held its breath. Humanity had been tested, and for the first time, many realized that their survival depended not just on technology, but on cunning, teamwork, and unbreakable spirit. As the last Vraxian ships retreated in disarray, Kane and Elena convened on the bridge. "We've bought Earth time," Kane said. "But this is only the beginning. The galaxy has seen us, and they will come again." Elena looked at him, resolute. "Let them come. We'll be ready. Always." Kthar's eyes glowed faintly in orbit. "They are not a threat, yet. But they will be. I have underestimated them and it is terrifying." In the council chambers, debates raged anew. Some argued for immediate engagement with humans, an attempt to control or eliminate them. Others, more cautious, argued observation. Kthar's report was irrefutable. Humans were not just survivors. They were formidable, clever, and dangerous. And somewhere in the shadows, the Vraxian syndicate began planning their revenge. They had tasted defeat and they hated it. But the galaxy now whispered of Earth, the blue planet where a fragile, underestimated species had faced overwhelming force and survived with brilliance. Humanity had proven something vital. Intelligence, courage, and adaptability were more powerful than sheer firepower. The Council and the Syndicate alike were beginning to learn that lesson. And the humans, standing on the threshold of the stars, were only getting started. After the stunning defeat of the Vraxian fleet, the galaxy's attention turned to Earth. Every council chamber buzzed with whispered debates. Cthulhu's warnings had shaken even the most arrogant delegates. Humans were no longer a curiosity, they were a rising force, unpredictable and intelligent, a species whose ingenuity could not be ignored. In the Sci-Fi flagship, Cthulhu convened a meeting with his peers. They think like predators and prey at the same time. They improvise and adapt instantly. They are unpredictable and dangerous, he warned. But they are still weak, Xyler countered. Without allies they are a single planet. We could contain them if needed. Cthulhu shook his head. Containment is impossible. They have already survived a fleet that would have crushed other species. They learn, evolve and plan. If we do not engage wisely they will outmaneuver us. Meanwhile, on Earth, humanity faced a delicate balance of fear and ambition. Governments convened, and world leaders consulted with scientists and military strategists. Elena Reyes, now recognized as the galaxy's first human ambassador, spoke before the United Nations. The galaxy is watching us, she said. We cannot hide. We cannot surrender. But we can do what humans have always done: adapt, strategize, and survive. We will not only defend our planet, we will find allies, build bridges, and show that intelligence and creativity are weapons as strong as any fleet. Kane nodded beside her. We fight smart not just with weapons but with diplomacy. And we will make the galaxy respect humanity. Their first diplomatic move was bold. Humans sent envoys to races previously ignored by the Council. The Drelkori, a secretive species known for espionage and intelligence gathering, and the Valor, a trade-oriented species whose fleets were unmatched in speed. The humans offered knowledge and partnership. We may be small but we innovate. Together we can challenge those who seek domination, Elena proposed. Many laughed. Some were suspicious. Yet others saw opportunity. The Drelkori, intrigued by humans' unpredictability, sent spies to observe. The Valor, valuing ingenuity in trade and engineering, sent diplomats to negotiate. Even the Council could not ignore humanity's moves. Delegates debated whether to sanction Earth or attempt engagement. Secretly, some envoys began contacting human diplomats, curious about the strange species that had survived a Vraxian fleet with nothing but strategy and adaptability. Thar watched, fascinated. They are weaving a web, he said to himself. A web of alliances, trust, and deception. They are small, yet their influence grows with every move. Then came the first act of betrayal. A faction within the Vraxian syndicate, humiliated by their defeat, reached out to the Council, presenting fabricated intelligence claiming humans were building a secret superweapon capable of annihilating entire fleets. Panic rippled through some sectors. Humanity must be contained, shouted one council member. If they can defeat our fleets with a single planet, imagine what they could do if left unchecked. But Elena and Kane anticipated this. Using their network of allies, the Drelkori and Valor, they leaked their own counter-information. Humans had no superweapons but they had intelligence and the ability to outthink enemies. The galaxy watched as the Vraxian claims were exposed as fear and fabrication. This move stunned the Council. Humans had turned deception into diplomacy. They had survived attacks, manipulated information flows and gained allies, all without firing a single weapon outside Earth's orbit. In the Council, Cthar presented a new assessment. They are not merely intelligent or adaptable. They are strategic in diplomacy, capable of turning threats into opportunities. Every action is a calculated risk. They are apex predators in thought, not muscle. On Earth, celebrations were quiet but determined. Humanity had survived the first storm. They had proven their ability to navigate galactic politics, forge alliances and anticipate betrayals. And yet, everyone knew it was only the beginning. Because far across the galaxy the Syndicate plotted revenge. Secret fleets were being built, saboteurs trained, and spies dispatched. The Vraxians had tasted defeat and would not forget. But humanity had also changed the rules of engagement. For the first time, the galaxy saw a species that did not fear its larger, stronger neighbors. Humans combined intelligence, creativity, and audacity in ways that no alien civilization had expected. They had become a force whose influence could ripple across systems, creating alliances and strategies that even the most powerful species could not easily counter. Elena stood on the balcony of Earth's orbital headquarters, looking out at the stars. "They think they can intimidate us," she said softly. "They are learning the wrong lesson. Humanity is not just surviving. We are rising." Kane placed a hand on her shoulder. "And the galaxy will see it. Soon, everyone will understand what we've known all along. Underestimate humanity at your own peril." Far beyond Earth, Kthar watched the planet shimmer in the void. "They are no longer just a species," he murmured. "They are an idea, a force that will change everything." And in the shadows, alliances formed, betrayals brewed, and the stage was set for the next confrontation. One that would stretch across star systems, challenge ancient powers, and reveal the true scope of human cunning and power. The calm before war was a lie. Across the galaxy, fleets mobilized. The Vraxian Syndicate, humiliated by their earlier defeat, had rebuilt quickly, training new crews, commissioning massive warships, and forging dark alliances with mercenary forces. Their goal was simple: crush Earth and prove that no primitive species could challenge the galaxy's established order. Kthar observed quietly from his Scythery ship, conflicted. "They have provoked a storm," he muttered. "And yet, I fear for those who attack them. Humans, they fight like nothing I have ever seen." On Earth, Admiral Kane paced the bridge of the flagship Horizon. Sensors blinked with incoming fleet signatures: Vraxian, mercenary, and even a few unknown ships from corners of the galaxy drawn by the promise of conquest. Earth's defense fleet, though small, was equipped with hybrid technology and commanded by humans who thrived on unpredictability. Elena Reyes stood beside him, reviewing diplomatic channels. "Our allies are ready," she said. "The Drell Corps have disrupted enemy communications. The Valor fleets will arrive within days. But we can't wait, we must act before their fleets reach Earth's orbit." Kane's eyes hardened. "Then we give them a fight they will never forget." The first engagement occurred near the asteroid belt. The Vraxian lead fleet moved confidently, weapons charging, expecting an easy victory. But humans had anticipated their approach. Asteroids were lined with explosive charges, remotely detonated to create false debris fields. Human drones zipped through the chaos, firing micromissiles to confuse sensors. The Vraxians launched their first salvo, energy beams slicing through empty space. One by one, their ships were forced to evade, colliding with debris or overcompensating for phantom targets. Humanity's fleet moved with coordinated chaos, unpredictable yet precise. "Now," Kane shouted. "Flank from the asteroid clusters. Use gravity assists and EMP bursts. Hit their shields at weak points." The humans executed the maneuver flawlessly. Small attack ships weaved around massive asteroids, using gravity to gain speed beyond anything the Vraxians expected. EMP bursts overloaded systems, and the enemy fleet fell into disarray. Vraxian command ships struggled to regain control as smaller, faster human vessels exploited every weakness. Kthar, observing from his orbit, could only marvel. They are rewriting the rules of engagement. No strategy one have seen compares to this. But humans were not just fighting, they were adapting. When a Vraxian super-dreadnought attempted a surprise jump behind human lines, Kane had already predicted the move. Decoy ships projected false signatures, and when the dreadnought arrived, it was surrounded by a field of explosive satellites. The massive ship shattered in a blinding flash, leaving smaller vessels in chaos. Even the council members watching the transmissions from afar were stunned. "Impossible," muttered one. "They have no experience in galactic war, yet they are outthinking centuries of combat doctrine." On Earth, civilians watched the skies with a mixture of fear and awe. Explosions lit the orbit, streaks of light crossing the heavens like lightning in slow motion. Humanity had turned survival into spectacle, and every move showcased ingenuity and courage. Then came the Vraxian twist. Secret fleets emerged from warp points near Jupiter and Saturn, attempting to cut off human escape routes. Kane and Elena had anticipated this as well. Using captured alien technology and human creativity, they orchestrated a counter-ambush, leading the Syndicate ships into a trap lined with gravitational anomalies and EMP fields. The trap shattered several warships and forced the rest to retreat in disorder. The galaxy was watching, and the story spread rapidly. A species that had once been dismissed as primitive had not only survived but had fought and defeated one of the most powerful fleets in the Outer Rim. Aliens whispered in fear and awe. Humans were not just adaptable, they were apex strategists. Kthar's own report to the Council was blunt. I have underestimated them. No species under my observation has ever done what humans have done. They are more than resilient, they are extraordinary. Any future conflict with humanity will require extreme caution. But the war was far from over. The Vraxians, enraged and humiliated, began calling in allies, black market mercenaries, and even rogue council factions to attack Earth. Humanity, small yet brilliant, had to navigate combat, diplomacy, and strategy simultaneously. Every victory came with risk, every decision carried the weight of survival. In the midst of the chaos, Elena addressed the humans across the communication networks. We are not just defending our planet, she said, voice steady and commanding. We are showing the galaxy what humanity is. Intelligence, creativity, courage, these are our weapons. And we will not be defeated. As the battle raged across the solar system, Kthar made a quiet note in his logs. This species is unlike any I have encountered. They are not merely survivors, they are architects of possibility. To underestimate them is to invite disaster. And in the far reaches of space, the first seeds of fear took root among those who had long ruled unchallenged. Humanity was no longer a backwater species. Humanity was a force of the galaxy, a clever, unpredictable, unstoppable force that would soon challenge even the oldest empires. The fires of war had begun, but humanity's ascent was only starting. And the galaxy, vast and ancient, would never forget the name of Earth. The galaxy held its breath. Every species, from the glittering Zytheri to the shadowy Drelkori, from mercenary warlords to council delegates, watched as humanity prepared for what could be its final stand, or its greatest triumph. The Vraxian Syndicate, enraged and desperate, had assembled a fleet larger than anything Earth had ever faced. Thousands of warships, dreadnoughts bristling with energy weapons and orbital bombardment platforms capable of vaporizing cities. Their goal was simple: crush Earth and humiliate humanity permanently. On the bridge of the flagship Horizon, Admiral Kane and Elena Reyes studied the incoming fleet. We're outnumbered at least 50 to 1, Kane said, his hand resting on the console. There's no way we can face them head-on. Elena's eyes glimmered with determination. Then we won't. That's the human advantage. We don't fight like them. We fight smarter. We adapt, we improvise, we turn the impossible into opportunity. Kane nodded. Let's remind the galaxy why humans are underestimated at their peril. The plan was audacious. Humanity would use the entire Sol system as a battlefield. Planets, moons, and asteroid belts became part of their strategy. They deployed decoy fleets across multiple orbits, masked by cloaking technologies and gravitational interference. Hidden railguns, EMP satellites, and drone swarms waited to strike. As the Vraxian fleet closed in, confident of an easy victory, humans executed the first phase, a simulated retreat. Vraxian sensors tracked fleeing ships, expecting chaos. Instead, they flew into a trap, a coordinated ambush from 3 directions, utilizing the gravitational pull of Jupiter and Saturn to accelerate human drones to impossible speeds. Dreadnought shields melted, and chaos rippled through the Syndicate ranks. But the Vraxians were clever. They adapted quickly, redirecting fleets, cutting communication lines, and attempting to predict human movements. That was when the unexpected happened. Kthar, now openly observing humanity, decided to intervene, not as a combatant but as a witness. He communicated with the Council. They are not merely surviving. They are orchestrating the impossible. They are reshaping the battlefield in ways no species has ever done. If you underestimate them, you will regret it. Elena activated the second phase. Using captured alien codes and human ingenuity, they hacked the Vraxian command network. Enemy ships began targeting each other by mistake, firing into their own formations. Panic erupted in the Syndicate fleet. Human drones struck key systems with precision, taking advantage of the confusion. Kane watched the holographic displays. They're falling apart exactly as predicted. Every move they make plays into our trap. Then came the human twist that stunned the galaxy. From hidden jump points, small squadrons of Earth-built vessels executed near-instantaneous hyperspace jumps, appearing behind the Syndicate fleet. They cut off retreats and disrupted reinforcements. Entire squadrons were trapped by ingenuity alone, without relying on sheer firepower. Vraxian Admiral Xyler, watching in disbelief, barked orders that came too late. Their fleet was fragmented, confused, and demoralized. Ships surrendered, some fled, and others were destroyed by precision strikes that no alien strategy could anticipate. On the bridge of Horizon, Elena and Kane shared a brief smile. "We've done it," Kane said quietly. "We've survived everything they threw at us, and more." Elena nodded. "Not just survived. We've shown the galaxy what humanity is. Adaptable, intelligent, and unstoppable when united." Kthar, silent in orbit, recorded every moment. His final report to the Council was blunt, reverent, and fearful. "They are no longer primitive. They are apex strategists, innovators, and warriors in thought and action. Any who underestimate humanity will face consequences beyond imagination. They are a force that transcends conventional power. They are a humanity." Back on Earth, celebrations were tempered with vigilance. Humanity had survived, but they knew that the galaxy had seen them, and many powers would never forget the display of ingenuity, courage, and tactical brilliance. Alliances formed quickly, with races who recognized human skill eager to join or at least maintain peace. Enemies recalculated their approach, realizing that brute force alone could never defeat this species. In the council chambers, silence reigned as delegates reviewed the battle reports. "This is unprecedented," Sira admitted. "A single species, confined to one planet, has defeated fleets larger than anything in recorded history. They are extraordinary." Humanity's rise was no accident. It was a combination of intellect, adaptability, courage, and unity. The species that had once been overlooked, underestimated, and dismissed had proven that strength lay not only in numbers or technology but in ingenuity, resilience, and the unyielding will to survive and thrive. Kane and Elena stood on Earth's orbital platform watching the stars. "We've changed the galaxy," Kane said. Elena smiled, her eyes reflecting distant suns. "And we're only beginning. The galaxy will never underestimate humanity again." Far beyond Earth, in systems once thought untouchable, whispers of fear and respect spread. Humanity was no longer a backwater species. Humanity had become an idea, a symbol of intelligence, creativity, and unstoppable spirit. The galaxy had changed forever. And so, from a tiny blue planet, a species underestimated by all, rose to claim its place among the stars. Humans had not only survived, they had transcended expectation, leaving the galaxy in awe and fear, forever changed by what one species could achieve when no limits were accepted, no challenge ignored, and no obstacle unconquered. The stars, once silent observers, now shone brighter, as if acknowledging humanity's rise. And the galaxy, vast and ancient, would never forget the day Earth proved that intelligence, adaptability, and courage were the ultimate powers.